Hi everyone, my name is Jueran Jiang. I'm a PhD student from the University of Texas at Austin. Today I'm going to present my work, Review of Research on Privacy Decision-Making from a Time Perspective. This is a joint work with Professor Sirka Yavampa. Our daily life has been revolutionized by digital technologies such as social media platforms and wearable devices. To enjoy all their amazing features, users perform information disclosure to exchange personal data for benefits such as entertainment, personalized services, and social capital. However, the massive collection of personal data has led to several privacy threats, such as identity theft and cyberstalking. As a result, individuals become hesitant to share their information, and companies need to develop strategies that can alleviate users' privacy concerns in order to make profits. Among all the efforts, we observe interface design elements that incorporate temporal concepts. Here, WeChat is a popular social network application in China. It allows users to specify how long their posts are viewable by their friends, such as 3 days. Similarly, the smart speaker Alexa allows users to enable auto-deletion of recordings within 3 or 18 months. Twitter and LinkedIn both have a list of real-time trends and news to let users stay updated and be able to join the hottest discussions. As we see such temporal solutions, a question came up to our mind. What are the motivation and the effects of these temporal design elements? Are these design effective in mitigating users' privacy concerns? So our research objective is to understand the effects of time on privacy decision-making. We realize that the extent privacy research contains little theoretical discussion on this topic, and we don't know much about the interfaces and tools that can help users to negotiate different temporal aspects of privacy decision-making. So in this study, we reviewed how existing literature has discussed time in the context of information privacy. We proposed future research avenues to study privacy from a time perspective. We also explored some privacy protective design recommendations related to time. Privacy can be considered as a commodity rather than an absolute right. The term privacy paradox describes the situation where individuals report strong privacy concerns but are still disclosing personal information online. There are two main research streams trying to explain such privacy paradox. The normative researchers propose the privacy calculus model, which states that people compare the perceived benefits and perceived risks associated with information disclosure in order to make the decision. The behavioral researchers believe that, on top of the normative account, privacy decision-making can also be influenced by heuristics and biases. Privacy management is a process where people continuously negotiate the boundaries of their personal space. Time, by its nature, is embedded in this continuous negotiation. In our study, we understand the concept of time from three dimensions. The first dimension is duration. It describes the degree of expansion in time, such as a month, a season, 5 years, and so on. The second dimension is timing. It's about when events happen or when actions are undertaken. Timing can be manifested as clock time or the occurrence of certain events, such as graduation. The third dimension is past, present, and future modalities. It's also referred to as inner time. It means that people can experience their past and future from the present in a cognitive way. So we started our literature search from the AIS basket of 8 journals and databases such as the ACM Digital Library and IEEE Explorer. We used a combination of keywords related to privacy and time. This gave us 1915 articles. We then scanned the titles and abstracts. to only include articles that discuss privacy in a digital setting and explicitly mentioned time. After scanning, only 8 articles were identified. We then adopted a backward and forward approach to broaden the search and found 29 additional papers. In total, 37 papers were included in our review. In the coding stage, we followed an abductive method. Deductively, we started with the 3 time dimensions that are already defined in the literature. Then, inductively, we abstracted excerpts that matched these dimensions. We developed new constructs to describe how each dimension was manifested in these excerpts. We identified mechanisms that explain how these new constructs affected privacy decision-making. We also noted down the technology context and design recommendations offered in each paper. So now I'll present an overview of our review findings. I'll start with the first dimension, duration. We identified 3 new constructs: information age, technology age, and user age. Information age refers to the length of time the content has been disclosed. For example, one participant said that the post appealed to the nerd in me, but a month later was no longer fresh. This describes how the content became no longer relevant after a period of time and influenced people's willingness to continue sharing it. So the mechanism we identified is the decreasing relevance of content over time. The second quote here was about how a participant realized that her improper tweet could be viewed by her brother and was freaked out. This shows that information age can also elevate privacy concerns through the mechanism of increasing content visibility. The second construct is technology age, which represents the length of time a technology has been available to or used by an individual. Technology age can change one's privacy concerns as users accumulate knowledge and awareness about potential threats and their own vulnerabilities. The last new construct, user age, refers to an individual's chronological age. It can lead to privacy concerns because people tend to pay more attention to their private life over time. Following the same logic, we identified 2 new constructs for the second dimension, timing. They are personal event and external event. Personal events are occasions affecting a particular user. It can influence privacy decision-making by the occurrence of major life changes or by emotional experience. For example, frustration, anger, excitement can all trigger impulsive privacy decision-making. External events refer to occasions that relate to or arise from the surroundings of an individual, such as the service provider or society. They can affect privacy decision-making if the technology company encounters reputational challenges regarding data management practices, or if on the societal level there is relentless and sensational reporting about global issues, such as elections or data breach scandals. The third dimension is past, present, and future. From the review, we find that past, present, future can be manifested as a reflection of the past or planning for the future. When people make privacy decisions at the present, they may refer to their prior experience. For example, if someone has experienced privacy violation before, they may be more cautious or even quit a technology. In terms of planning, people tend to consider the ramifications of information disclosure. For instance, identity management is a common long-term goal. Many people fear that revealing improper content on social media can negatively influence the impression of prospect employers. There are also people who keep posting things online as a way of reminiscence. So we also see that many papers proposed design recommendations. For example, to mitigate the impact of duration on privacy concerns, researchers have suggested setting up auto-deletion mechanism or setting up a specific expiration date of posts, or obscuring old data. In terms of timing, sentiment detection and warnings allow users to self-censor strong emotions and reduce postings that they may later regret and delete. For past, present, and future, one recommendation is to separate the regions for reminiscence and for identity management. So the theoretical implication of our review work is to propose that privacy decision-making frameworks and theories need to be adjusted to account for a time perspective. And the first idea is the extension of time span. So we believe that privacy decision-making can be a long-term process. The current privacy calculus model focuses on the perceived benefits and perceived risks associated with information disclosure, but it doesn't explicitly consider the potential changes in these benefits and risks over time, such as over information age, technology age, and user age. For example, at the beginning of using a technology, there might be a benefit surplus, but such benefits may diminish after a period of time, and people will decide to stop using the technology. So we believe it's necessary to have a thorough and process-oriented understanding of privacy decision-making. And future research can empirically study how the perceived benefits and risks change over time. Next, we propose that privacy theories need to incorporate timing context, such as the occurrence of personal events and external events. The widely adopted EPCO model is about the antecedents and outcomes of privacy concerns. The antecedents, such as personality, demographics, and culture, are relatively stable and may not be able to capture all the changes in timing that can vary one's motives to disclose information. So we think besides these static factors, we need to incorporate idiosyncratic timing contexts to understand privacy decision-making. Changes in timing can also result in a decrease in contextual integrity of data. So future research can study the effects of personal and external events on privacy. Thirdly, we believe it will be helpful to understand the individual similarities and differences in interpreting the past and planning for the future. Some papers have considered prior privacy violation experience, but only few have discussed planning for identity management or reminiscence. These two goals can actually contradict each other, so future research can study how people tackle conflicts between those short-term or long-term needs. We think our study can provide insights for digital technology companies. They can design interface to mitigate users' privacy risks. They can also adjust their data management practices to accommodate users' long-term privacy needs. And our study also has implications for the policymakers. For example, is it proper to store and use historical data of users apart from its original context? Shall users be granted the right to be forgotten? We believe there is huge room for policymaking to enhance the protection of user privacy. So this is the end of our presentation. Thank you all for listening, and I look forward to hearing any comments or feedback from you.